The story of infamous serial killer Jack the Ripper is one of the most intriguing cases in real criminal history. Indeed, it could be argued that the fact that this horrible case is still unsolved may be one of the reasons why it remains so popular to this very day, 133 years later. Despite a plethora of suspects, lengthy police investigations, media interest, and many accusations hurled around, a definitive Ripper suspect has never been identified. In this video, we're going to study the story of Jack the Ripper, or at least as much as we know. Welcome back to Science Explained. Before we begin, if you enjoy this video, we'd appreciate it if you subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell icon if you haven't done it yet. And then I will notify you every time that we upload new content to this channel. But now, back to Jack the Ripper. This story begins back in 1888 on the streets of Whitechapel in London's East End. Although this area had many murders, especially of prostitutes, the 5 women allegedly murdered by Jack the Ripper were of a much more gruesome nature than any others. The streets of Whitechapel were slums, filthy and overcrowded. The only way to earn a living for many of the residents was through criminal activity, and for the women, prostitution. The 3-month reign of terror started on Friday, 31st of August. The first confirmed victim was Mary Ann Nichols. The daughter of a blacksmith, she spent much of her childhood in various poorhouses. Abandoned by her husband, she earned a living through workhouses, prostitution, and petty theft. Mary's body was found in Bucks Row. This 43-year-old mother of 5 was battered and bruised, her throat had been slashed twice and nearly severed. Her stomach had been hacked open and slashed several times. 1 week later, on the 8th of September, the second victim, Annie Chapman, was discovered in Hanbury Street. This 47-year-old widow and mother suffered the same fate as the first victim, the only difference being that parts of her internal organs had been cut out and taken. 20 days later, a letter that had been sent to the police was published in the local newspaper. The letter was taunting police about his gruesome activities and speculating on murders to come. It was signed Jack the Ripper. This was not his only correspondence, as a number of letters followed, although not all were verified as genuine. The grimiest day was the 30th of September. This was the day the Ripper carried out 2 murders within minutes of each other. Elizabeth Stride's body was found at 1 AM, blood still pouring from her mouth. This time, it seemed, he may have been disturbed. Only 45 minutes later, just a few minutes walk away, the body of Catherine Eddowes, aged 43, was found. Again, her body had been ripped open, both eyelids cut, and part of her nose and right ear were cut off. Once again, the Ripper removed some of her internal organs. The 5th and final confirmed victim, at just 25, was the youngest of the women. Mary Jeanette Kelly was found in her room, lying on the bed. The scene was horrific. Her throat had been cut, her nose and breasts cut off, and dumped on a table. Her internal organs were draped over a picture frame. The body looked like that of an animal that had been skinned and gutted, and her heart was missing. As quickly as it started, the reign of terror stopped. The investigation drew a blank. The only facts that the police had was that the 5 women were all active or former prostitutes. All of the victims were from the lower class, and all had lived no more than a quarter of a mile from one another. The only other fact was all the murders were committed after pub closing time. What was strangely odd was that no one ever heard a scream or a cry for help. Surprising considering it was such a densely populated area. The only sighting of the Ripper was on the morning of the 8th of September, when a woman saw Annie Chapman accompanied by a man at 5:30 AM. Her body was found half an hour later. Although Jack the Ripper was never actually caught, and nobody really knows who he was, there were quite a few suspects. But without enough evidence, the police were unable to convict anyone. One thing is for sure, this is a story that has been talked about for many years, and we are sure that it will be talked about for many more. What are your thoughts on Jack the Ripper? Let us know in the comments below, and please like this video if you enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos like this one, we will appreciate it if you subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon to get notified every time that we upload new content for our channel. Thanks for watching.